And then we have one question that was submitted via email that we'll ask of all of you. We'll have 1 minute to respond. And then we'll open it up to the floor for a few questions. Following that, we'll get into the SGA Executive Debates after a brief introduction. So, without further ado, oh, yeah. So,
I'm going to be keeping time for you guys to make sure that everyone gets their time to say anything. So I'm going to do this, and you have 1 minute left to speak. I'm going to do this, and you have 30 seconds left to speak. 15 seconds, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone understand the time signals? When I close my hand, that means you have to stop talking. Okay.
So we're going to start with Osvaldo then, and then your VP, and then we'll have other class presidents and VPs go, and then we'll go back to the senators of the class. Well, yeah. You're not going to sit there and deliver a speech.
Hi, my name is Osvaldo Flores. I am running for the sophomore class president at Berea College. This will be my second term here in SGA. I was freshman class president, and I'm hoping to, as my platform, to create more transparency within the organization itself and the student body, because as SGA, we're supposed to represent every student here. So I want our sophomore class to become more involved and to help us create policies that are needed for our students. I am working on different policies with the executive president, Charlotte Hamilton, with the accessibility committee, and in the summer I'm going to work with the accessibility committee with us and the executive and work on the visitation policy to make it more fair for all the students.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, clap. Feel free to clap. That's nice. So then we'll have Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Farley. I'm currently a freshman here at Berea College. I am running alongside my friend Osvaldo Flores. Right now, I'm standing before you, not to tell you to vote for us, but I'm standing before you to tell you to pay attention to the Flores Farley campaign. It's important to you and to this college because we each have a goal in mind for the future sophomore students to accomplish everyone's desires and ideas. We want to break down the barrier between student government association and the students. Most students feel as if their opinion does not matter, but we want to change that. We want to hear from everybody, and we want to do everything that we have, all the power that we have to make those things come true. If I were to become sophomore vice president, I would love to plan events and programs with incentives to get students involved. We all know that free stuff is the best way to get to people, and I would love to create those events that students find beneficial to their academic and societal education. Berea College prepares us for the real world, and we know the real world is hard. Berea is hard too. We need to find students a place to relax and unwind. Beginning those places, it takes a lot of effort, but we need to find a way to get students a place to get out of it. So I want to get students involved. To sum everything up, I want to get students involved. I want to promote success for the upcoming sophomore class. I have leadership experience and the drive to do whatever it takes to accomplish those goals. So I'm standing for you now to tell you to support the Flores Farley campaign. Thank you.
Next up is Erica. Oh, you're running for senator. Apologies. Gentlemen.
I'm Shane Kerr. I'm running for senior class president. So I think the most important thing in leadership is service leadership. That's really what I want to do next term is figure out what I can do to serve the senior class and just the students at Berea College campus. I've had really good experiences on campus, and I kind of want to help promote things that'll help her after school. Amongst other things, I'd like to really help. I don't want to with visitation, I want to help to improve visitation rights. I'm also very much interested in helping to make the SGA more clear and transparent for all the students on campus, so they know what's going on within the SGA group. Thank you.
Hey, my fellow Bereans, I'm LaQuan Timmons. I'm running for Vice President for the senior class. Hope you're enjoying the tornado warnings all around. I think we have like 5 of them already. So,
That's amazing.
I know. I mean, Shane said everything. I just feel like this year, I just really want to care about the Berea College community and our senior class. So, as his name says, Shane cares, we care. Vote for Shane here and Timmons, 2015.
Hi guys, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Julie, and despite the fact that I'm only a freshman and I'm running for the sophomore senator, I really think I've taken advantage of a lot of opportunities that Berea's had to offer, and so I really want to make sure that that's available to more students and they know about all opportunities such as study abroad. I know that's one that's thrown out there a lot, but not only that, but different councils or different campaigns they can get involved with. And just recently, as part of my class, but not only because of my class, but because I really care about this issue, my group has decided to try to get gender-neutral bathrooms on campus for not only transgender students, but other students as well who just may not feel comfortable using the bathroom that like is provided to a certain gender. So I think it's really important that these basic necessities, like such as using the bathroom, aren't something that students have to worry about. And so if we're not doing a good job making sure that their necessities are met, I don't think we're representing them well. So I think that's something we really need to address, is that the necessities that students have, such as the support systems, such as housing and things, really need to be addressed. And I really hope to implement like more programming ideas and things, so just taking suggestions from students, like what they would like to see on campus. If this happened, then they would be more involved, or if something was going on, that they would be more interested in. So just to make sure people are more outside of their dorms and are interacting with different people. Because Berea is a really diverse population, so I think it's really important that we take advantage of that. And thank you all for listening. Bye.
Oh, and before you go, please. So Serene Basad is also running for freshman senator. She's not able to make it because of a work obligation.
Okay, I'm Erica Combs, and I'm running for the junior class senator. I'm running for re-election. I did sophomore class senator this year. I was also speaker of the Senate for SGA. Next year, I want to help with, again, the transgender issues that have been talked about. Also getting Pulse more involved in things across campus. Pulse are missionary life on our campus. Also, Charla has come up with an idea for a syllabus index, and I really would like to get that more in motion. And I also would like to work alongside whoever ends up being junior class president and vice president to get things moving and get things done next year along with the rest of SGA and the student body.
So Destiny Askew and Nieva Arena are also not here, but they are running for junior class president and vice president, respectively. All right, thank you all. So I have one question for everyone, and then we'll open it up to the floor if anyone has specific questions for the candidates. So I guess for the class representatives, everyone on stage, if you've served in the SGA this year, could you share one specific thing that you've accomplished? And if you haven't, could you share one specific goal you have in mind and how you will accomplish it next year? So you'll have 1 minute to speak. If you are mentioned by one of your running mates, which I don't anticipate since no one's running against each other up there, You have 45 seconds to rebut, and we will start here. Work our way down. Stand, please. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry. Your question, please?
Yeah, so you have not served an SGA, correct?
No.
So then the part for you is, could you share one specific goal that you have in mind for your position next year and how you'll achieve that, or how you plan to achieve it?
I guess I want to say I want to get back to students, want to give them some sort of event or some activity that they haven't had yet. So I'm going to try to work with different organizations on the campus for to see what can we get done, what needs to be done. So,
So I have not previously participated in any SGA offices, but like I said earlier, a specific goal I have is to increase seniors' preparedness for after school, after we graduate and go our separate ways. So the way that I plan to bring this about is through providing activities that will help with that, such as GRE prep classes, graduation school, like how to apply to graduate schools, how to make a resume good for that, activities such as that too. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have been in SGA before, and something that we worked on this year was again talking about the transgender issues and trying to get gender neutral bathrooms and everything. We worked really hard to try to get this done, even though we had some issues at the beginning with the committee. We have been in talks with SGA Debates, is that how you pronounce his name?
Close enough.
To get transgender people on campus more rights and gender neutral bathrooms. And it's a really big deal too because the famous ordinance in Berea was shot down during the time of SGA for this year. So we're trying to rise above all that.
So I too have previously served an SGA as the freshman class president. And one of the biggest accomplishments, I think, is the relationships I've made here this first year. I know most of my freshman class, and I also made relationships with a lot of faculty and staff who are needed for us to actually carry out the policies. So now that I know who to go direct these ideas with for future policies, I won't waste time on trying to figure out who will have to do what, because I know who we have to talk to.
I have not served in the SGA yet. However, I'm really excited for the opportunity to possibly serve. And a goal that I want to accomplish, I want to get more, I want to create relationships between organizations on campus, like SGA and CAB and SGA and Campus Life. I feel like they have resources that are very beneficial to us, and I think we need to create relationships to utilize those, especially if we want to create ways to reduce the stress of race for college students. With student study nights or events that do something similar to that, and have resources that we can use. And I feel like relationships with them are going to be really useful to us. Thank you.
Like Erica, my topic is the gender neutral bathrooms as well for my goal, but unlike her, I've not served on SGA, and one of the reasons why I think this goal is really important, I kind of addressed in my earlier talks, but I really think it's an important issue because Berea is seen as a progressive school. And if we don't address this issue, I think that looks bad not only as an institution as a whole, but people higher up. So I think not only raising awareness, such as our campaign this week, we had the Alphabet Soup yesterday where we talked about LGBT, and it goes on and on. So we talked about different letters and what they stood for. We also have events like all throughout this week to bring more awareness to it. So I hope that happens on like a much larger scale next year. And so when board meetings and the trustees meetings and things do happen, that the issue of gender neutral bathrooms is brought up more so people know that it's an issue that needs to be talked about.
Cool. Technically, you have the option to rebut since you were mentioned, but there's not really a reason to. Okay, cool. Then we will open up the questions to the floor. If anyone has any, you can ask questions of particular candidates, especially your representatives, or you can ask everyone on stage something that's important to you.
So one thing that I would ask is how are each of you going to make yourselves more accessible to the Berean student population?
Good question. So, do you want to start? Is that what's happening? Okay.
So one of the things I've been talking to Carl and some other candidates is that I want to have office hours in SGA. So having those office hours allows the campus to know that we're going to be in the office a certain amount of times. We can send an email and have like a permanent time, if it's like for an hour or two, so they can come in and just ask us questions to get involved. That's,
For myself, I mean, I'm not the person that you'll always see me or like on campus. I'm not always in the quad. However, you can always find me at Facebook, and Instagram, and Twitter, and I know social media is both good and bad. However, it is useful to contact people. And I strongly encourage people to message me, call me, get my phone number, call me, text me, contact me in any way possible so that I can figure out a way to help you, so that we can figure out a way to help you.
I think not only am I like a pretty openly person, like just as far as like talking conversation goes, but like the clubs and organizations I'm a part of and playing sports as well, I think that involves me in a lot of different groups and organizations on campus. So I think when people see me in those different areas that I'm involved with, I think that makes me much more accessible to people, and they would see that I'm involved in like different walks of life, I guess. So I think that makes me much more accessible to people if they have like complaints or suggestions.
Okay, I'll go next. We talked about social media and office hours. I think those are both fantastic ideas. I also spend a lot of my time in the office anyway, so if people come in there to ask ideas and everything, I try to give them as much of an answer that I know. I also think a good thing that would come up next year is having more events on campus to get everyone together, to get to know each other better, because there's students on this campus that I've never seen before. But I don't think that's cool, so I want to know everybody. So, and another thing that I think would be really good is get to know your SGA representatives.
Since I haven't really been too involved with this before, I don't know exactly how difficult it is, but to get in contact with everybody and be available. But I plan to, be as accessible as possible, stick around in the SGA office as much as I can, make my contact info available, be available over social media, whatever ways people can find to contact me. I mean, any way you could contact me, I'm going to make available to anyone who wants to provide their opinions or ideas. So that's what I'm going to do.
I agree with social media and having office hours. But I'm usually like really friendly with everybody on campus, talk to anybody. So if you want to come to me, ask me anything about SGA that I know about, I can actually tell you. You can come to me and talk. So.
Okay, so we can take one more question for them. Maybe even two, because one of the candidates isn't here yet. But yeah.
You talked about great ways in which to provide you down to you. How do you want to document it? Like, to be quite honest, I didn't even know about the email. I was talking about this debate was very clean, and I didn't know how to get it got me. So, like, how do you want to reach out to us? And that's
Erica. Yes,
Okay.
thanks.
I think that the SGA email is something that we need to utilize a lot more than what we're doing right now. No offense. That was fun. But I think that's something next year that could really be useful, as using the email account and the Facebook page would also be something that could really reach out to students and just letting them know that the SGA office is open. A lot of students don't know that it's open to everyone. I think it's only SGA. So that's something that needs to be let known also.
Thank you. No.
So I think one thing that I would like to see a lot more of is actually sending out polls and I guess opinion forms out to the community campus. We have the SGA email. If we're really looking to see what the campus wants, what better way than to ask them? And so I don't know exactly how to go about doing that, but I think that would be a good way to connect with campus and reach out.
Well, I agree. I like made polls would be a good idea. On cap, we do polls all the time to figure out what students want or what they want to see on campus. And if you want to see some kind of change, come up to one of us. Come talk to us. Let us know what you want. Let us know what you need, and we got you. So, peace out.
Okay, Julie.
To touch on what Shane said, I think the polls are a really good idea, but not only email, because sometimes people just delete emails without even reading them once they see the header. So I think actually people, if they do have the time or they make the time, different members in SGA go out to different parts of campus, whether it is the cafe, whether it's in dining services, and like sit down with people and talk to them about suggestions, or if they're trying to get an opinion on something. So I think that would be a really good idea.
Similar to campaigning. Campaigning is a time that we all kind of reach out to other students to get their attention. Well, I think we should kind of do a campaign all year round. We want people to see us all year round. And I mean, me and Oswaldo, we set up a table in dining services, and we were trying to get suggestions from people. And I think that's something we would also like to do next year, getting suggestions from people. Have a box, you can write something, you can talk to us. We want to make ourselves accessible and free for you. I mean, and I think that office hours are also a great idea, but just out to you. I mean, we emails, our Instagrams, Twitters, anything, ways that you can contact us and that we can contact you. But I also think that your suggestions is what's important.
Now you can go.
One of the things I try to do this semester, or last semester, each class president gets to have a class committee. So I try to like strategically choose people who represent like different minority groups, or those who don't communicate as much with the rest, or that aren't that social, because I want to have a representation of the entire student body. So I try to like get someone that talks to the international students, someone that represents different organizations, stuff like that. So getting those type of leaders in my committee.
Cool. The pressing question.
I want to hear from the presidents of what they believe is special about their class and what activities they're going to do to bring that out of their class. Like for example, what's special about the sophomore class that you want to highlight, and what's special about the senior class that you want to highlight in programs that you'll do?
That's a fair question. I'll let you go first.
Well, this year I think was the year that they accepted the most freshmen compared to the other school years, and it was also the first year they accepted DACA students, and I'm a DACA student, which is a deferred action, which are the rivals. And I think educating the class about like who we are, our different personal stories, so we could at the end go with a sophomore story over it.
You re-ask the question. Can you say the question again, please?
So what's special about your class that you want to bring out from programming?
Well, I'm going to respond. And the same way I've kind of said it 3 times now, but like, that's not starting. The senior class is at the transitional stage. Like, we're getting ready to move on, whether it be to grad school, whether it be to just life, going to a job. It's much like the transition from high school to here, at least so at first. So really what I want to do is help people bring out those strengths and see what they really need, in what ways they really need to prepare in order to be ready for life after four-year college. We have our own bubble here. I think that it's important to be able to see outside of the bubble so we have a realistic idea of what life is like.
Okay, well, we're gonna take a 10-minute break. If any of you have further questions, feel free to drill the candidates. And candidates, feel free to stay on stage or come down and talk to people. We'll come back in 10 minutes and start with the executives.
I'm so proud of you. You're welcome to say anything about it. No, I don't, there's like one person who's here, maybe, who are from the sophomore class or junior class.
Yeah, but girl, you have a stake in this next part.
But I also, wait, what?
You have a stake in this next part.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I'm ready.
To be happy. Or if they don't start singing pretty hurts. Yeah. You
Beat the tornado.
Tornado, everyone's moving with this wall away from the window. Give a pen. Cool, because I know I'm completely unprepared for this. Right down here.
Thank you for having me. Alright, so it'll be the same setup as last time, except class president will have 5 minutes, VPs will have 3 minutes to give their speeches.
Just to go over that hand signal so everyone is aware of them, I'm going to do this when you have 1 minute left to speak, 30 seconds, 15, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When I close my hand, stop talking.
Cool. And for everyone, Maggie Smith, who's presidential candidate, is currently not here because it's going. So if she comes before this is over, we'll give her 5 minutes to share her speech. And if not, we'll allow Carmela the opportunity to share more if she would like. So we'll go ahead and get started then, and we'll start with Carmela.
Okay, so my name is Josh Holmes. I am a junior, going to be senior next year. And so I've been doing student government since my freshman year. I've been the class president every year. And so it's been pretty eventful, a lot of success as well as failures. And so learning from those, Carl and I are moving forward to become the executive, or still executive council with everybody's votes. And so thinking back to everything that we've done so far, I've worked on the infrastructure committee through SGA. So the infrastructure focuses on the physical being of the campus, but as well as the health and mental and spiritual. So as far as the infrastructure, we've done bike racks. We focus on those projects, getting more bike racks on campus, having campus-friendly vegetation, as well as lighting in the quad. I know all those lamp posts haven't always been there. It used to be really dark, but with the help and talking to administration, we were able to get those implemented. And so focusing on other projects through student government, we've also done a lot with my class individually. And we are also talking next year to do things with other organizations on campus. And so working with CAB, BME, Public Safety, Campus Life, getting those people involved. We have a lot of ideas for next year. I actually sat at each lunch table this past week getting ideas from people. Instead of telling people to vote for me, I've asked for suggestions like Oswaldo has done in food service. And so a lot of people want transparency in SGA. So here's an idea, and bear with me. We're gonna see how feasible this is, but I'm having a Snapchat story through SGA. Because most people don't even know what student government is, but if people saw action, we live in an ADHD generation where videos and pictures are the only things people pay attention to. And so if you see videos of us going to meetings, getting things done on campus, then that'd be a great way to pay for the transparency aspect. And so Carl and I have also been talking about gender neutral bathrooms that all other candidates hit on. And so Julie, I don't see her in there, but she's in my Peace and Social Justice class. And so that's where her project stems from. And so I also had a project called BAT, Berea Against Crime. And so, working with Berea Police to open up that streamlined communication with students and police, convincing students that, the police aren't really out to get you. They also want to promote health and safety. And so opening up that streamlined communication and working with Berea as a community. The difference in my mind between the class positions as well as executive is that the executive will have to be more encompassing and gather more ideas. And so bringing everything together is a plan Paul and I have had. So that's what we're focusing on. So I'm going to try talking. So.
Thank you. If you want to, this is Maggie, everyone.
There's a safety hazard, tornado things, now Watch Center was holding me there. Yes.
So, do you want to go over the
hand signal? Yeah. So when you have 1 minute left, I'm going to go like this.
Okay.
Like this for 30 seconds, 15, and I'll count you down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 at the end. When I close my hand, you have to stop talking.
Okay.
You have 5 minutes.
Can I start in like just a second?
Sure.
So I'm supposed to go next, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I literally ran in here, so I'm gonna need a breather.
We're also live streaming the event for people at home to watch. So we can't.
Oh, perfect.
So if you'd like, we can have Carl go next, and then have you, and then Carmela.
I'm really sorry for my unprofessional.
You're fine.
But Carl, if you wouldn't care, I'd love for you to next it, so I can gather myself. Thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is Carl Kraft. I'm a sophomore here at Berea College. I'm a communications major. I have not been involved in SGA before, but this year I've been asked to be the vice presidential candidate with Josh Holmes. I'm really excited to work with SGA if we get elected. What I'm really passionate about is making sure that SGA is really a representative voice for the students. So making sure that all the different student voices are heard, making sure that lots of venues exist, not only so that students can come talk to us as well as all of it, as mentioned earlier, office hours, but also try to do some more of that student outreach. We also, both of us have talked about the importance of communication between all the different SGA bodies. So not only the Senate, but also the board presidents and things like that, so that we can really get things done in SGA and have a lot more cooperation. And so another thing that I'm passionate about is, and some people have already referenced, the issue of equality for all gender identities at Berea College. I'm really personally frustrated that Berea College boasts the motto of God has made of one blood all peoples of the earth, but do not have fair housing policies for our transgender brothers and sisters. So what I really want to work on, and I've worked on in the past, is ending the sort of discrimination that Berea College does toward transgender students. So I really want to work towards a fair housing policy and also having the option of gender-neutral bathrooms on campus, but primarily working with administration and through already established connections to create a policy that's fair and inclusive to all Berea College students, and end the harm that is done to our transgender students on the regular. And so I would really appreciate it if you supported me and my Josh Holmes in the election. I think that's everything. Yeah.
All right, hey everybody. My name is Maggie Smith, and I'm running for executive president, as most of you know. Carmela Jackson is my running mate. I'm delighted to run her. We have had a lot of leadership in the past together, and so I'm going to touch on some organizations that I've been involved with and some things that I've had happen on Berea College campus through my efforts and the efforts as well as some of the things Carmela has done. So one of the things I'm highly involved in on campus is Student Alumni Council. With that, we just connect each other with alumni and create events that give students awareness through leadership, and we promote things like homecoming and do extremely huge event planning. Another thing that branches off of the Student Alumni Council is Berea Patrons, which I was lucky enough to be on the committee that founded the organization that has started Student Philanthropy at Berea. We took that organization with the help of 4 or 5 other people, like manning it up. We took that from a 45 student population of students giving, raising about $500 per year out of their paycheck, to a student organization that has 500 people within a year. We also were able to gain national recognition for our work. Another thing that I'm highly involved in is SGA. I was blessed enough to be VR chair this year, and I've learned a lot about the policies and the things that we're trying to work towards as a group. While going through that process, I've also learned a lot about the things that we need to change. So a couple of things that our platform focuses on is building community amongst students and amongst community members in general, as well as faculty and staff, to create these moments of exchanging knowledge and opinions, and also creating these places that are just open for conversation that is going to create change. One of the major causes we're working towards as well as Josh and Carl is the transgender bathrooms and giving those students a voice on campus and a place that they can call their home. One of the big things that we're focusing on at the end of our platform, that Carmela will probably touch on as well, is reworking the infrastructure of the Executive Council of SGA. So instead of just giving certain students a voice, and instead of just highlighting the athletics at and having vice presidents represent like athletics and a VP of finance and sustainability, we're also wanting to include a vice president of international relations so that the international students on campus have a voice within SGA. We also want to include a VP of the LGBTQ community so that we're hearing their voices as well. And then undocumented students are becoming a high population on campus, so we want to hear what we can do for them. And then the last one is non-traditional students, Eco-Village. So we actually don't tap into the source of the Eco-Village very much, and we don't coordinate with them as much as we could. So if we foster this like community of hearing their ideas and hearing what they need, we can allot them the funding and support through SGA to make events happen that create better community amongst their organizations. Another thing that we've talked about doing is creating a mentor mountaineer program. The name's still in the work because the program hasn't became a thing, but we are wanting to create a program that takes upperclassmen of different majors and different leadership roles, things of that nature, and give them a little, essentially, that is an underclassman that they can help like brother through the program and help them along the way. Because I know that as Berea students, there are a lot of things that are left out when we're trying to do our academic planning and when we're trying to consider housing or classes or professors. So this program will allow us to create community amongst other students. It'll let people get a new face and be able to have somebody to confide in about the issues that they're wanting to hear talked about. Lastly, one thing that we're definitely looking forward to doing is hopefully making these conversations that I talked about earlier, making these conversations that we talked about creating earlier, inclusive of the topics students want to hear. So we're looking forward to hopefully being elected as SGA president and vice president, and we just want to work for the people and work towards causes that you all think are needing talked about and that knowledge needs to be shared. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Carmela Jackson. I'm a junior in psychology and CFS double major. I filled a few leadership roles that are just scattered about campus. I'm currently the PR person for the psychology department, or for the psych club, whatever. I've been on house council. I'm a student manager at the CDL, but luckily I'm gonna switch jobs and be involved with SAC, Student Alumni Council, so I'm really excited about that. One of the big things, Maggie pretty much covered most of our platform, but one of the big things that I want to hit on is kind of bringing back some old groups as well as hearing from organizations that are been on campus. So like the BAM, the gaming club, a lot of them have wanted to, reach out to new students, and hopefully we can help them do that, let them be known. A program that I was involved in my freshman year called Berea Backpackers was really had a huge impact on me. Pretty much a few students from the college would go down to Berea Community because some of the students at Berea Community, lunch is pretty much their only solid meal they have. So over the weekend, we would go pack bags for them, and they would take the bags home and give them to their respective child that needs them. So pretty much, like I said, Maggie listed off our campaign, and I'm really excited to hopefully get things started. Like many other candidates have mentioned, I hopefully would like to get to work with other organizations alongside ours. And I also think a really important issue is all the things that VP Jacob Burdett has been doing with the sexual assault and Green Dot program, and hopefully we can take the information that he's obtained and kind of go back, look at what we need to reconstruct, and hopefully with our comic box, we can hear what the students need, cater to their needs, do it for you. So, thanks.
So to start off, we have two questions that were submitted, one for the presidents and then one for the VPs. Then we have one more question that was submitted, and then we'll take questions from the floor. So this question is for the presidential candidates. The student asks, each of you are close to and have worked with the unofficial fraternity DSG, who is currently seeking official recognition by Berea College. Do you anticipate a conflict of interest arising out of that work? If not, why? And if so, how do you plan to navigate that? So we'll start with Maggie, actually, just because you went first last time.
Alright. So, I'm gonna just sit, if that's okay. I think having a more
Sorry.
Okay, so I'll stand and take this leadership role up here. So one of the things that I think about DSG is that they have this program where they're fostering service. So that's a lot of the reason why I went to bat as somebody as an ally for them to become a part of campus and to serve some of our community, because they are a large group of students who are willing to help out with programs. I personally do not feel that my affiliation with DSG is strong enough in a sense where I'm involved in their leadership, because I don't make any of the decisions for their body. I also feel as though I am disconnected from a lot of the things that they're planning and a lot of things they're doing. I attend some of their events and help them out with some of their stuff, but it's not as closely related as it could be. So as a conflict of interest for being SGA president and being affiliated with that organization, I do not feel that it would be a problem at all. I think that when it comes to this leadership position, that I'm gung-ho about SGA, and I would completely commit myself to promoting.
Sorry, that was our bad. For future reference with this round of questioning, you'll each have 1 minute to respond. And if you reference one of the people running against you, they'll have 45 seconds to rebut. So, you're fine.
So, again, I am a part of DSG. That's the unofficial fraternity that's not on campus. And I've thought about this. Carl and I, we talked about my affiliation with DSG before even campaigning. And so we felt that the best solution was for me to step down as president. And so that's what I'm going to do, because we know there is a conflict of interest, and we don't want that to be a changing factor with SGA, because I'm very stressed as academics in the late group. So this will be a labor position for me. So I need to be on my toes. I need to have free time open for me to deal with student ideas and issues, and not just with DSG. DSG does a lot of great things. I'm still going to be a part of it. But I really do think the service and leadership aspect prepare me for this presidential role. So.
Okay, so this question is for our vice presidential candidates. The student asks, neither of you have been involved with SGA this year. How do you think that your lack of experience in SGA will affect your experience as VP next year, if you're elected? And we will start with Carmela and then go.
Well, I know that I haven't been involved in SGA, but I've worked closely with people who've worked in SGA, and I've heard things that go well and things that go bad. So hopefully I can hear and take into consideration those comments and hopefully implement them to my best ability. Also, my previous leadership positions can help me out with this. So I think that I have the skills enough to come in and kind of learn and do whatever is needed, and definitely take into what consideration the students have.
So I may not have had a formal role in SGA, but I actually have been involved in SGA. So the accessibility committee that needs to work, who's been working specifically on the issues of transgender equality and disability services on campus. I've actually been invited to meetings there before. I've also just been closely involved with SGA. You know, I cleaned up the office, fancy design, but I'm also, you know, I just kind of, you know, this is something I'm passionate about, and I think that not only bringing my passion to the table is will help in my position if I get to, you know, present. But I've also, you know, I have experience in community outreach and things like that, so I think that I have the skills that I need to, you know, bring to fruition the promises that we're making in our campaign.
So apologies, I actually have 2 more questions. So the first one is, what is your running mate's biggest weakness, and how do you, as their running mate, plan to make up for that next year? And this is for everyone, so we will start with Josh.
So
working with our running mates so far on the campaign trail. Biggest weakness that I can see right now is that he cares a lot about a lot of issues, and so being spread too thin would be a big factor. And so basically having a broad list on the wall type idea where instead of being so spread out, we narrow it down to a list of priorities and goals that we have. And so we actually set up a short-term and long-term goal plan. So long-term are the, well, I don't think I'll have a degree in college, and the long-term will be, well, okay, maybe not next year, but down the line. So short-term will be, well, this actually happen next year. So staying grounded and keeping my running mate focused on a narrow path, that'll really help get things done. So.
And then we'll go to Carmela. Yeah, so for the rest of these, it'll just start with the next person and we'll trade off like that. So
I think my running mate's biggest problem would be that she's committed to a lot of things. She wants to put her hand in every pot, which is awesome, but sometimes that can seem to get things mixed up. But she does an awesome job at what she does. I'm really glad to be running with her. We work really well together. Like she mentioned, we worked on the Career Patrons Committee, and we have for 2 years now. And so, yeah, I think that's pretty much the biggest problem, but we can always fix that. I'm here. I can balance it out. So.
I think that my running mate's biggest weakness is probably, it's really hard to choose because Carmela and I work together so well and she balances me out. I think that her biggest weakness definitely has to be the fact that she's a lot like Carl and she wants to stick her finger in every different kind of organization and bring it all together. She also has a lot of really crazy ideas for campaigning, some of which include like, let's send out like guerrilla warfare post-its and tell everybody that we're going to do this and that. And so Carmela is extremely creative, which sometimes can be a problem because we have to stay steady and fast on what we want to do and come up with a platform that's sustainable and committed.
So I've been met with a lot of criticisms about my running mates. But I'm excited to work with Josh. My biggest concern about running with Josh was definitely that we were in very different social circles, and I thought that the social circles that he was involved with would not be something that I was really interested in. But actually, in like sort of this campaign journey, I guess, I've kind of learned that I was being really close-minded about like what I thought needed to be represented in Korea College. So I guess if anything, Josh's what I thought was one of his biggest flaws was that he wasn't involved with enough diverse, like different kinds of students. Was that he was reaching out to students that I couldn't reach out to. So I think that the fact that we're both kind of specialized gives us the access to the different ideas around campus.
So as a compliment to this, and please do it respectfully, we'll start with Carmela. Could you please point out your opponent's greatest flaw and how you think that would adversely affect them if they were elected? Pardon? Well, if you want to get crazy, both. But I was thinking the person running for the position you're running for. After you.
Well, this is kind of difficult because I know Carl, working with him just very loosely and talking to him every once in a while. But he seems really adamant about the things he wants to do, which is awesome. And I think that could possibly be a problem. It's good that he's going to do that one thing, but the other things that Josh may want to do might not be carried out with, which is not necessarily a problem, but it might be when they're trying to work together, and that might become a conflict.
That's the epitome of respect. Actually, so since you are referencing your opponent, they do have a chance to respond if they would like to. If not, we'll move on. Okay?
I think that my opponent's biggest flaw, although I adore him all the time, I think that one of the biggest flaws has to be when people see Josh Holmes, they see DSG. So I think that because of like the different opinions about that on campus, that it couldn't necessarily be a flaw within him being able to represent the entire student body because of that affiliation.
Would you like to respond?
Yeah.
25 seconds.
How many? 45?
Yeah, it's your repeating.
I think it's 25 first. All right, so yeah, I am part of PSG, but I feel that I'm Josh Holmes first, right? So you say my name before you say what groups I'm affiliated with. And so I think once you get to know me as a person and how I think, how I operate, then that will really dispel any kind of ideas or, of course, closed-mindedness opinions that people might have. And so even sitting down and facilitating those conversations, about things I can do through SGA, it'll really help dispel any kind of image that may come from, that's what they said, PSG. Yeah.
Yeah, we're just moving down. Yeah.
So like Carmel said, this is really hard because I think we've literally like sat down and talked to each other for like 20 minutes every day on this entire campaign. But I guess if anything, one of Carmela's biggest flaws is that in this upcoming year she's got a really taxing labor position, and I only have concerns that she may not be able to contribute fully to the SGA vice presidency, and that's only because I know that Carmela is really hard, works really hard at what she works at. So I mean, honestly, it's just that Carmela is too comfortable. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to say.
That's cute. Okay. Would you like to respond to that?
That was so nice of you. But I had recognized that this is going to be a huge time commitment. That's why I'm not going to be doing as much as possible like I usually do. I played soccer in the fall. I won't be doing that this upcoming year. So hopefully I'll be able to handle the work. If I do the position, I will handle it.
All right, so this is all kind of funny to me because it's kind of a political game. So it's kind of like sandwiching it. So say something positive about your opponent, say something negative, then say something positive so you don't offend anybody. But I see the flaw in Maggie is almost a flaw I see within myself. And as far as her weakness, I feel that she hasn't seen it yet, or she might not be aware of it right now. So that's the political game. So you get so involved in student government that you almost forget the students. So you're so involved, you're really trying to push things through, deal with administration, but then you almost close your ear to the opinions of the actual students. So I feel that may be one of Maggie's weaknesses, being a little too alienated from the students and trying to institute or drive home some points that she wants to get done for SGA. And so I've noticed that within myself as well, and I work with Carl to correct that.
And just in case it comes up, in your rebuttal, if you reference your opponent, they do get 30 seconds to respond, and it ends there. So if you don't want that, then just, yeah.
I appreciate you throwing out the okay, although I can see where Josh is coming from on things like that, because once you are so dedicated to something, you are trying to make it completely complete to where people are actually going to see this outcome and this success. But Carmela and I have sat down and focused and talked for hours and hours on our campaign being built around the students. It's very adamant that we make sure that those voices are heard. My ears are wide open when it comes to the student population. I talk to a wide variety of people, and I want to hear their voice, and I want to make it known. Thank you.
Okay, so I've apparently lied about how many questions I have because I just keep finding more on this piece of paper. So this is my last question, promise, and then we'll open it up to you guys. Sorry. So we'll start with Maggie for this one. Can you discuss a time that you have had to work with your running mate? What did you accomplish, and how did that experience affect your partnership?
Okay. Okay, so Carmela might also say the exact same thing. says, this is one of our biggest accomplishments. But we have worked together on a lot of different things, but our biggest success is Berea Patrons, as I stated earlier. We came together as a team. I keep pulling her into things. If I think that she's ready to help me do something, I'm like, Carmela, I need you here. I need you to help me. And she just comes in clutch, for lack of a better word, every single time. And so we feed off each other in the leadership realm. With Berea Patrons, we have thrown out ideas this semester as a committee. I serve as the chair, and she's on the committee. We've thrown out ideas that have helped bring in almost tenfold of what we had before as givers, which is also adding to like $10,000 being invested back into the Berea Fund, which is fostering the opportunity for other students to come to Berea and have a chance at an education. That is definitely our biggest accomplishment as a team. We have impromptu meetings over Facebook, we're constantly talking to each other about what we want to do and how we want to make change, and Berea Patrons is one of those things we fostered it too.
So, up until this campaign, Josh and I hadn't actually worked on anything before, so I guess that was a big challenge we had to overcome. We didn't really know anything about each other, and so working together to develop this campaign, finding ideas that we're both passionate about, making compromises in each other, being able to honestly tell each other, hey, these are some flaws that I see in you. These are some things that you know won't be possible, or these are some things that we really need to refocus our goals. That was really difficult because I really hadn't talked to Josh before he asked me to be his running mate. But I think that the way that we came together to develop this really solid platform, I think that shows that we have the capability to work together well to get things done.
So yeah, as Carl mentioned before, we haven't really worked together to this point, and I think that's the beauty of it because we weren't really friends. I mean, even 2 years ago, and so now it's almost like we're not really scared of offending each other or being scared to work together and actually put down some ideas. So as far as the success that we've done together to lead this campaign, it would be being at BC&T, calling each other, bouncing ideas off of each other, talking to students together. Because I think a big part of the campaign process is not only what you can do, but what you can do with the students. And so working together with even posters and getting signatures and trying to get ideas and suggestions, that's a big success in my mind because it's just a big preview of what happens in the future.
So like Maggie said, Berea Patrons is pretty much pride and joy, a little baby. But through those times, through Berea Patrons, we have yelled at each other, we have got frustrated, we have stopped talking to each other, but in the end, we realized that this is not for us, this is for the future Bereans that we are trying to support. So within the last 2 years or so, we've supported 6 potential Berea College students. So just working with Maggie really just rekindles my love for Berea, and it lets me know that there's people that genuinely care about the cause just as much as I do, and so it's a pleasure working with them.
Now we'll open it up to the floor. As the rain gets louder, I'll ask that the candidates do so as well, just so everyone can hear themselves.
As a person who has a very strange personality, who is a little bit too honest most of the time, how do you guys expect to work with those people that have like a very frustrated personality and very upfront personality in the future with other people that will be in SGA?
Is that for everybody?
Is that for everybody or?
Just for everybody, yeah.
And does everyone know what she asked?
I can read and say,
I think they said you could. So we'll start then with Carl and Lucas.
I guess the best experience that I can speak from for this question is I guess the difficult personality personalities that I deal with on a daily basis. And I guess that comes from my friends, from other people like Maria. I think that I'm very good at listening to intently the ideas and opinions of people who present them in very different ways than I would present them, with maybe the more aggressive or different style of communication. I am very good at being able to listen intently and understand, regardless of how the message is communicated. So I think that's how I think
Yeah.
So I mean, you have one person. Are they wanting to join SGA, or are they giving us a message already?
Person on it that you might not agree with,
Right.
you might find
So, as an RO, I'm an RO on campus right now. So usually, if I have an issue or kind of like a grievance with a coworker, I'll bring in the mediator. And so usually, I don't really want to have that one-on-one unless I have to with the person that I just, in this case, plain I don't agree with. But as far as being blunt, I'm pretty blunt as well. I'll have to filter myself. But I'm a note taker, and so I think a big part of communication is taking notes and letting the other person know that you're understanding what they're saying and even getting back to them. Hey, is this where you're coming from? I just want to make sure I understand you correctly because we can move forward from that. If we disagree, we'll try to find a compromise, but in most cases, it takes the communication to get on the same page.
So as a student manager at the CDL, I deal with a bunch of girls. So there's always some kind of conflict. So luckily I've worked on my mediation skills and being a mentor. So I feel like I'm very qualified for that. Also, if somebody is saying something and they're feeling very strongly about it, I'm going to tell them, I understand what you're saying and I'll take that into consideration. And then if I can go higher up or go to a different person, then I will. But if I know that I can handle it or I'm confident that I can, then I can help them solve it.
Okay, so as a lot of you know, I am that personality you're describing. I'm the person who's really upfront and blunt about what she feels and about what she wants to say. I roomed there for Combs my freshman year, who was also a person that was just like that. And so I had to learn to listen, honestly, to like shut my mouth for 5 minutes, forever how long it takes for them to talk and express themselves, and also take notes, as Josh said, because that's something I do. I'm constantly writing things down on what they're saying so that I can learn from them, so that I can hear what they're trying to get across, and so I can actually gain this knowledge of a new aspect of like ways people communicate, and ways that they are handling things, or how it may be a bigger issue to them and may be more important to them than it is to me. But by having that conversation, those issues usually become very important to me. Another instance is that my BOR, if anybody has attended one of our meetings, is chock full of all kinds of personalities. So I work with them every Tuesday.
Other questions?
I have a question for Josh. Sure everybody in this room knows. Three was founded on social and economical inclusivity, and I'm sorry to reverse stereotypes, but it is one. Fraternities are exclusive by nature. That's their nature. And although you said that you're going to step down as president, are you going to maintain those relationships? And if you do maintain those relationships with this team, how do you plan to dispel the stereotypes around it? Because even though you are Josh Reynolds, your name is still tied with them. And so, how do you plan to dispel those stereotypes that you're going to love track at?
Can I ask her like clarification? Right.
Yeah, so you're gonna get 1 minute to respond, but I feel like this might require more than one. So afterwards, if you want to talk to her as well, but yes, go.
Okay, stereotypes. So Frank, I understand that stereotypes. Are there because I'm not sure of all stereotypes, so I don't know if it's kind of swinging the dark. Are there ones specific that
you're going to reach out to people that you don't talk to, people that you don't associate with? How are you going to dispel that stereotype so people actually want to be around you and be involved?
So, first off, we've never turned anybody down. That's the main point. Like, we've never said you can't join. So we're pretty inclusive in that aspect. I've had this conversation with a lot of people, so I kind of almost have a free answer. But I mean, college is exclusive as well, because they only accept a certain income level. So exclusivity isn't necessarily a bad thing. And so what we really do want to harp on the leaders on campus. And so we start in-house with, all right, well, how do we make sure the leaders are equipped with the knowledge they need to help out other guys on campus? And so it's not like, all right, let's talk in a room and keep things amongst ourselves. Let's talk, let's have some ideas, but then let's make an impact with other people in the community. As far as working with DSG, I'll still be working with them. I'm not distancing myself in any way, it's just stepping down so I have more time for SGA. But as far as stereotypes and rumors, they go away with time. But as long as you're doing the right things during that time, then stereotypes will get better.
So, thank you. Again, feel free after to just go up to me if you didn't fully answer, but thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll go here and
As we currently serve on the board of residents, I feel like there is a lack of cooperation and communication between the college and SGA, and for the same concern of our SGA members. My question is, for the candidates, how do we facilitate communication and cooperation between the individual bodies of SGA?
then just the president. Yeah.
As someone who gets to hear my current body that I serve talk about how they need the communication barrier to be broken, I have thought about this issue a lot, and Carmel and I have actually discussed this throughout our platform. We as a team are going to distribute workload between the Senate and the BOR meetings. So if a Senate meeting fits Carmela's schedule better, she's going to go to that meeting. She's going to give a report on what we're working on as a team, as the executive council, as well as what the rest of our council is working on. And then I'm going to go to the other meeting and communicate with those lines. We also are going to increase the amount of joint sessions that we have, because there should be one at the beginning and should be one at the end of like every semester essentially, or a little bit less. So with that, we're going to be able to increase the communication around the whole body and not just make it exclusively to the boards. We also are going to encourage the executive council to go to their meetings and to give little addresses saying, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, if you need my help, here I am. Thank you.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying, and for me, it would be more of the friendships being kindled, because the joint sessions, the only time I see these people, I'm like, who are these people? I'm sure you all are thinking the same thing, like, well, who are these people? And so maybe even on the retreat and going out and having more outings, and maybe not more so meetings, maybe not having more meetings, but actually being a little bit more informal, meeting outside of SGA. But hey, let's go bowling one night, or let's use these funds to actually get to know each other, because once you're friends with someone, then you can actually establish that professional relationship and saying that, all right, well, yeah, you're going to be our how's that going? And let's get that going and rolling, get borrowing on that. And so maybe relationships outside of student government will really help the BR, the Senate, and getting to know each person's individual, and not just BOR and Senate outside.
How are you going to, for everyone, how are you going to allow yourselves to be more open to the student body to contact you, or how are you going to reach out to the student body in order to contact the people? We feel, especially first years, don't really know what the SGA does or how they can approach the SGA. So how are you going to specifically come out to the student body?
We're going to start with you, Carmela.
Okay. So, pretty much I'm always in the SGA office, like Erica said previously. So, depending on my schedule, I'll pretty much always be in there, especially if I get the position or not, I'll definitely be in there. Also, I know that there's like the different committees, like the freshmen, the sophomore. So I think that if they plan events, I would like to be a presence there. If I can't be there the whole time, I would like that lead to show up and ask how everybody's doing, you know, just kind of talk and chat, not really, you know, like, I mean, just relax and chill with everybody, just so people know who, you know, my face is, and let them know that they can come talk to me whenever and know where they can go.
This is actually, Carl and I talk a lot. I think that's what I'm learning throughout this whole question thing. We've talked about how with other organizations on campus, being able to hear their voice, we want to host maybe a meeting that happens at the beginning of every semester that kind of talks about their vision for the semester. We want to be able to tell students who are younger that, hey, here's SGA, we want to foster you into this program and allow you to become a leader. But also, here's this whole pool of other organizations that you may be more interested in. With the communication amongst those other organizations and SGA, we want to show a prominent presence, as she was talking about, but if one of the members of another organization wants us to be at a meeting to explain what SGA can do as an ally, then we want to be there and let them know, hey, here's a place you can get funding for something you want to host that builds community amongst your members and amongst the people that you're impacting on campus. Because we're all different people and we all care about different things. So if SGA is supposed to care about everything, then why shouldn't we try to help aid these organizations in what they're planning to do? Thank you.
So as I already said, that's one of my biggest passions and why I want to do SGA. What Josh and I have talked about is hopefully, if our schedules allow, to hold at least an hourly office time, or an hour office time every night for every week. Weekday, you know, we'll work our schedule, but a time when one of the members of the of this leadership team will be in the office there, ready to, you know, hear whatever voices want to come in and talk to us. You know, it's part of the labor. It's a labor position. It's a time requirement for Josh and me as a junior and not a busy senior. I'll also have time to commit to that. Another thing about reaching out to freshmen, we want to make sure that SGA has a really solid booth at any, you know, fair, event, whatever that is held around campus. We want to make sure that SGA has a representative there. We know the current leadership team gets really busy and sometimes they can't, you know, set up for someone to be there. And so with a junior like me, we don't do that.
So I'm going to mention a failure in my response. So a failure that I've seen in almost every class over the years for SGA is that we'll host an event and then nobody comes, and it's like, well, we reached out, right? But that's not really reaching out. Like holding an event and expecting people to come to you, that's not really reaching out. So for me, I've noticed that people don't like meetings. Like it's just something you have to do. And so for me, it would be actually getting out into the community. So the O team orientation, how you help people move into their dorms. I plan on helping people move to their dorms. For freshman orientation, I actually want to get on stage with folks and say, hey, I'm Josh, I'm student government president, and this is what we do, but this is what I can do for you all. And you know, feel free to talk to me outside of this and at any time. And so I walked to different food service tables this past weekend. I did. And Kelly also mentioned this, but going to tables in food service, maybe even once a month, and going down and asking breakfast.
We probably have time for maybe 2 or 3 questions if there are any.
You give an example for each of you of a predisposed bias that has been imposed upon you.
You know, elaborate.
Like a bias, how people see you, like with your candidates, how has that ultimately affected you?
Does everyone understand? Okay. So then we'll start with you.
As I said earlier, I'm one of these people who puts everything up front and very blunt and very straightforward about that. What I don't realize sometimes is that very honest and straightforward personality can come off as being too aggressive or too strong, which allows other people not to feel as though their voice can be heard. That is something within the last couple of semesters that I've really noticed and really have evaluated and changed my character within. I am wanting to become a better leader in that aspect to where, yes, I am a strong person and a strong personality that wants to help rally forces, but there is also this beauty in being silent and hearing people speak about what they're passionate about and being able to let them talk for a change. So that is something that I have been evaluating and have been working towards, and I feel like that I have came to this inclusive thing, that bias is being combated with new and positive initiatives.
So, as has been pointed out many times, one of the biggest concerns with our candidacy is that Josh is affiliated with DSG. And one of the biggest things that I've said is that, one of my biggest goals is to make sure that, SGA and DSG are very separate entities and have no real interaction with each other at all. And I guess the biggest bias that people have towards me because of that is that they don't think I can follow through on that promise. They don't think that Josh has enough respect for me, that he's, just agreeing with me now, or whatever. But I mean, that's obviously not the case. Josh and I, we were really upfront and honest with each other about concerns of our campaign. Like he already said, we talked and discussed about, him stepping down from the leadership role in DSG, so that those two parties never become affiliated. So I guess the concern that that I won't have any, that I won't be respected is sort of unfounded.
Sorry. Yeah, protest.
So a bias for me also would be more so my group of friends that I started out with, knowing that what I affiliate with, so Black male, works out a lot, so athletic, and so the bias that I see is that through SGA, I might push for like seat theory, longer hours, more so than certain other areas. And so another bias that I have is that I also work with the Black Male Initiative on campus, and so I also want to help them with their field trips and things such as that. And so a bias would have to stand back and say that, hey, there are more organizations out there than just the ones that I like personally. And so it's just recognizing those biases.
So I think one of my biases is that people seem to think that like I'm really funny or that I'm really relaxed, and that kind of doesn't make you seem like you'd be a good leader. But I can be firm and concerned when I need to. I don't like going that way, but if I have to, I usually do. But luckily, I work with really awesome people, and I don't have to be that way at all. So I like to keep a positive attitude, and sometimes people think that they can go over me or undermine me, but can't get past me. So.
Any other questions?
I just one question today. So I've heard everybody kind of touch on like how you want to advertise for all clubs and organizations, because there's not really a standard list of all the organizations on campus and trying to meet ceilings. But how are you going to be able to, like, I guess as first year when I came here, I had no idea. I still have no idea about most of the organizations on campus, all the clubs, like BAM and HHP club and all these things. So how are you going to advertise that to first year students and other students, letting them know what's there to be part of?
Actually, campus like that.
Yes. I have a thing you'll answer.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, actually, what Carmel and Campus Life does have a database for that kind of stuff, but as kind of like a, here it is, right now, you're a freshman, what can you do? They have those freshmen, like, coming in packets that you guys all get when you move into your dorms. So what we could do as SGA is support, like, the funding for those papers to be printed out that has a list of all the organizations on them, and maybe even, like, a little brief bio that's under them that says what they are, so that when you're going through that packet and trying to say, what am I doing, when am I supposed to go, what's next on session, we're able to supply that information.
I'll give one of you a chance to respond if you'd like.
To respond to that?
No.
No, to her question. To be fair, so that you.
So I know I ask for advice a lot, and my buddy he's the governor president down at the University of Alabama, and so for their ideas for the clubs, it's similar to Maggie's having the chief paper for all the organizations. But first off, maybe at the end of the spring semester, go down and see, well, which ones are active, first of all, because we don't want to falsely advertise that organizations not on campus anymore or active. And so even having that description, but more in detail, time commitment, right? So most groups, you can't really join to the second month because freshmen kind of being thrown into this new transitional period. But even having time commitment, so BME, I didn't even my freshman year, but I know I had so many concerts and so many rehearsals. And so even having that next to the name of the organization would really help out and say that, hey, we're meeting Monday, Wednesdays for 2 hours, and we have so many concerts every year. Can you afford to join this organization and even having organizational fairs like we have Labor Day?
Yeah. Okay. So we will take one more question if anyone has one.
So, I guess my question is, you know, we always have these debates, and everybody, of course, has their issues that they care about. I guess for me, I'm thinking like Roger. So, what would be your like overarching vision for SGA and everybody?
For everybody,
And that's directed to anybody but especially.
Okay, so we'll start with Carmela. Sorry, I've just been alternating every time when it's for everyone. So.
I guess my overall vision would be to bring SGA in a positive light, because most people, they don't really know about SGA, so pretty much just really educating the student population, student body, of what SGA does and how they can get involved. Yeah, because Berea has a big commitment to service, so we can open up opportunities for students to participate in service activities along with educating about SGA.
Okay. I think that my overall vision for SGA has to build on what Carmel said by creating a positive attitude. And as I talked about earlier, fostering that community amongst campus and the community that we are in, and faculty and staff. But the bigger aspect for me definitely has to be making SGA an organization that tries to incorporate all of the people at Berea College. So by having a student that represents the Eco Village and the non-traditional students, and having a student that represents the international students and the undocumented students in the LGBTQ community. By putting those sectors into place, it also fosters an infrastructure that can be built upon each semester as somebody else comes into reign as president. So those people can build on it each year to see that they meet the needs of those students. So what I want to do as SGA president, if elected, is to create a structure that is easy to build upon so that future generations are able to foster new things through it. Thank you.
So I guess my vision for SGA would be an organization that the students know about, an organization the students care about, an organization that isn't just for people that say, ooh, student government sounds fun. Just a few weeks ago, there were some students that wanted to, have this demonstration about, student voices not being heard, that involved the president. And what struck me about, those students that wanted to come together and do that was that it seemed to me that they didn't understand that SGA is supposed to be the voice of the students for the administration and faculty. And so what I would really like to see is a student body that cares about SGA, and an SGA that does things that makes the student body want to care about it, that publicizes, not to directly attack this year's SGA, but to publicize events that have a long history at Berea College that no one knows about that are happening this Saturday.
Do you get to reply? I'm just kidding.
So my vision for student government, not just giving students a voice, because we always say we want to give students a voice, but how about we give students tools to actually be able to utilize their talents and gifts that they have at Berea. And so I'm really focused on the graduation rate. That's why I became part of DSU, because I was like, well, there's a lot of males dropping out. And why is that? Why are they not connected to campus? And so it's connecting the students to campus and giving them tools and helping them capitalize on those opportunities. Not just having a voice, because the voice is great. What do you do after you get that voice? It's wielding that power and saying that, hey, while you're successful at Berea, we also want to be successful post Berea after you graduate. So that's my vision for student government.
So I didn't really think about this until just now, but I guess you guys should have closing remarks. We can either do it so that you as a possible leadership team present together with a collective 2 minutes, or you can each have 1 minute to yourselves. So which would you prefer? Come on, leaders, be decisive.
Just to clarify, options, 2 minutes.
So you're having the same amount of time regardless, but you can either give your closing remarks together or go independent of each other.
What do you mean together? Do you mean that one of us is speaking for the both of us, or that?
That means that both of you comes up and talks to us.
Together. You both get to speak.
Yeah.
I prefer that.
Okay. All right. And we will start with you all since Josh and Carl were able to open.
Okay. I'll let you start.
Well, like Maggie and I said, we really want to foster a community, not just within our Berea College community, but also within the town of Berea. Hopefully we'll have our initiatives to do that. Maggie touched on a lot of our platform. I touched on a little bit.
One of the main things that we were talking about when we were coming up with concluding statements, because we actually trying to map one out, it's printed now. So we were talking about how I talked a lot about hearing voices, and I talked about like letting students have their word. I think that Carmel and I, our main vision as a collective for SGA is to put those students in a place where they have the equipment to do that. Josh spoke on tools earlier. That's something that we're trying to put into play. Our main thing is to make this exchange of knowledge happen amongst Bereans and amongst all Bereans, not just at Berea College, but in the community in general.
And create conversations that the students want to hear and that the faculty want to appreciate and hear too. So.
And by creating those conversations, we're going to be able to host events that allow the exchange of that information that I was talking about to happen, but also allow us to come up with committees and plans that are going to put the information that's discussed and talked about into action so that the issues that we care about as a student body that are brought to our attention are completely listed and there's something being done about the things that our students are working on.
Pretty much make it applicable to the student body as well as accommodate the needs that we can.
And the way that you can accommodate those needs throughout is just hearing those voices. To reiterate that one more time, you can assume that maybe the international students need host families to host them through the holidays, but we really don't know that that's what they need. So if we bring in all these different people to build off of and work with, we're able to better meet those needs as Carmel was talking about. So that's basically what we're going to do. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
So first off, thank you guys for coming out because it's pretty rainy, but this really does kind of give us hope that people actually do care about student government. But questions were well received, and if you guys have any more questions for us, you can talk to us outside of here. I can give you guys a phone number. But student government, everybody's technically a member. We all give $10 to student government, so that's what funds the SGA. And so you all should have an equal say so and come to us with ideas and issues that you all might have. And so another thing I want to do is photo fix, right? So if you see something on campus you want to see fixed, you should take a picture of it and send it in to us. And so we can look into it. But we have a lot more ideas for fall semester, and so it'd be great if you all could let us utilize that.
Yeah, and so yeah, you can check out some of those ideas. We have a more detailed plan on our campaign page, but I would more encourage you to seek us out and find us and talk to us, because there are things that both of us can communicate with you in a personal conversation that we just can't communicate through Facebook or any other social media platform. There are things that we're both very passionate about. We are very qualified, knowledgeable leadership team with experience in the things that we say that we want to do. We are determined to get those things done.
And so in the concluding statement, it'd be great if you all could go out to your friend groups and tell them to actually vote. you know, you don't have to say vote for so-and-so, but it'd just be great to say just vote, because the percentage was really low last year, around 30%, 20, 30, and so that kind of stinks. And so it'd be great if you all could get your friends to vote and say, hey, just click on the link and probably do it from your phone, but just be active in SGA. So, thanks, guys.
In about half an hour when I'm upstairs because it's completed. So please, like Josh said, tell your friends to go vote. If you have any questions about what you want me to take time, you want me personally. Thank you again for being here.
Thanks to our candidates as well, and if anyone has questions for them, and then bring those together.
Catch me.
What?
She's not gonna catch me. No. I don't